It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight is Sidetrack Sunday. So as things usually happen on Sidetrack Sunday, we're going to stay on task, on target, on track. It's just going to... I don't know what's going to happen. It could be a mess for all I know. But we are not going to be rearranging shelves as somebody asked earlier in the chat. We are going to be putting some trains on the track today, though. I do have all this stuff on my desk. If you watched my last week's video, I added pictures on all the cases so that I could take stuff out of cases and not worry about what goes where. So I've pretty much got all of that not done. I'm nowhere near done. I got it done for what is on my desk. I don't have it done for all the stuff back there, but, you know, we're getting there one step at a time. So we're gonna put some stuff on the tracks today. Let's look at the poll real quick. The poll is, do you leave your trains on the track after a running session, or do you put them away? And this is actually... I knew leave them was going to be towards the higher side. I didn't realize leave them right now is at 89%, which is a lot higher than I thought. I don't know. I guess I don't put away the stuff up top, but I do put away the stuff down below. So maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely wrong. But let's take a moment, check out who is joining us today. It looks like we got 45 people so far, but I'm not seeing 45 people on the participants list, and I'm definitely not seeing 45 likes right now. So if you haven't yet, say hello so that your name pops up in the chat, and so that we can all say hello to everybody here. Leading off the list tonight, we have Mr. Almar is in the house. We have James from Boulder Creek Yard, Cameron from Caboose 121, David Atkins checking in before dinner. We've got Dragon Ball Tech is here, Tim from CP368, Productions, D-Rail Daryl in the house, Fred Wilds here, JD Grandpa Rails, Jeff the Railroad Enthusiast joining us, Dave from BNSF N-Scale, John Benicki, John Knoffel, John 2618, also known as RailServe John, and if it's the last thing I do, he's going to change his YouTube channel name to RailServe John. We've got Dwight from Curly Express, Manny Fernandez is here, Manshed Railroad coming all the way from Arkansas, Mr. Jimbo Trains is here, Nathan Delay joining us, Nathan 5 chimes. We have 2 Nathans in the house tonight. Norman Rose here, Mike the Rail Artist, Randall Ellison, Ray Boble joining us, Roy Eltham, Santa Fe Bob, John from Schuylkill River Valley, Thomas Splitrock, Steve Childer, still awake, Steve, it's 8 o'clock at night. Thomas Grassi in the house, Tom's Trains and Things checking in early, and Steven from Wigwag Workshop. If I missed anybody, I apologize, but thank you all so much for being here. Poll still 90%, 10%. Who knows? So the big decision tonight, and the thing that I'm not sure about is, so I've got some circus stuff over here. I've got some newer micro trains here. This is my stack of Cabooses, so we can take those out. These are all my anniversary cars. So Micro Trains puts out a bunch of anniversary stuff. So one option is the anniversary stuff. Over here, I've got the bicentennial trains and the friendship trains. And over here on the very right is sort of more the just generic freight stuff. And I had to check because I wasn't sure what glasses I was wearing. These are my usual glasses. They are very dirty right now, though. I just noticed as I took them off. But these are the normal, the regular glasses. But thank you for the $5 super chat, much appreciated. Roy Eltham says putting them away is too much work, especially when it adds a bunch of work getting them out again for the next time I want to run trains. Grandpa Rail is saying cabooses. Anybody else? We've got Split Rock saying generic freight. Tom is asking if I leave chewing gum on the bedpost at night. I don't chew chewing gum, so I definitely don't. Heath, I know you probably don't have one. Do you have any Reading and Northern cabooses? Funny you should ask that. I do have a Reading and Northern caboose. Oh, there it is, right there. I do have a Reading and Northern caboose, but it's an older Atlas, and it has horn hooks instead of Microtrains couplers. So at some point, I have to swap them. It also has some nice pizza cutter wheels on it. But now that I've kind of pulled them out, I moved the buttons around that controlled things, which I think was a mistake, because now I can't find anything. But so we're starting to pull the cabooses out. We might as well. I apologize. Cabooses. Starting to pull the cabooses out. So we're getting there. Let's see. Barky107107 says, I just put the rolling stock in drawers. Randall says, I won't make the whole stream tonight. He worked 14.5 hours today. Yeah, that's a long time. Thanks for asking. Dog is doing fantastic. She is starting to get a little rambunctious. So we have to kind of keep her settled as much as possible, but yeah, she's getting up there, getting a little wild and crazy. I don't have any MOW stuff except for, I guess, kind of this guy might be considered an MOW car. It's a scale test car. That's not really MOW. I don't really have any MOW stuff, but I think we'll start with the cabooses because why not? Yeah. I have couplers, I have trucks, but, well, so the goal is, at least the plan is I've got this main yard set up here. I finally got all the tracks set up on it. My thought is I'll use the main yard to put all the trains up here, and then I'll take them and I can slide them around to the staging yard. Probably do that after the show, but then they'll be just living over in the staging yard. Dakman says Heath doesn't have grass in New York, so he doesn't mow. Yep, I've got I've got a gondola that I have as well. I actually, so one thing that I learned by doing all this stuff that I've done is I do have a bunch of duplicates that I need to get rid of. So I have the two gondolas that I have. I think the only two gondolas I have both happen to be CNJ gondolas, and they both happen to be the exact same number. I got to do inventory. I got to see what I have, because I will definitely be getting rid of some things. David Atkins says, my running sessions are continuation of the previous session and a precursor to the next one. I have an interchange to add or remove cars. And that's, I think that's probably the way I am going to primarily do things. I apologize. I need to clean my glasses. I didn't realize how dirty they were. Not that I can ever see in general anymore. One of the downsides of getting older. But let me at least clean them. Frank is saying audio. Ugh. Is he saying Frank did a little stream before this? Frank's got a really incredible layout that he's got a lot of work done on. It's really pretty incredible. He was streaming right before Sidetrack Sunday, and I know at one point he had some audio issues. I don't know if he got them solved or not. Nathan Delay wants to know if I'm curious if I bought more than one item many times that's the same one. Well, I just showed you the CNJ is a good example, and here's another example. Where is it? Let's find it right here. I bought two of the same. These are anniversary cars, and I bought two of the same of those. I have these MDT cars. There are two different numbers that I have, but I seem to have about like 3 sets of the multiple numbers, so I'll have to go through those and get rid of them as well. So Norman says, getting older, you're a mere pup. I appreciate that, but once you cross 40, I feel like things, at least with the eyes, I mean, I'm still feeling pretty good otherwise, but Container Man's hearing some crackling that could be between your ears. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Ray, glasses, keeping them clean. I can't tell when they're dirty until I really take them off. Dwight's going to give me $5 for what? Or who are you giving $5 to what? Sparky subbing to Frank Steeler Fan 820. But, yeah, I tried to... I'm going to... I mean, essentially what... yeah, I know. I know, Mike, I know. When I find the duplicates of things that... So I intentionally have some duplicates, right? So, like, if we go back here and I grab these guys, like, I intentionally have duplicates of these. Paul says I'm 21, so I have about 19 years until 40. I intentionally have duplicates of the flat cars because I've got a lot of wagons. And they don't make as many flat cars as they have wagons, so I, you know, there's kind of a little bit of a mix and match. But David, that's really funny. I saw a comment from RailServe John, and now I'm not seeing it. That oh, there we go. That's the one I wanted. RailServe John said seeing is overrated. I kind of agree to some extent, but not really. I do also, like, if you, I don't know if these count as duplicates or not, but, like, I've got two pacemaker cars, or cabooses. One's an Atlas, one is a Microtrains. You know, that kind of counts as duplicates. I bought these when I was going through a Caboose's thing. Like, I went and just bought a whole bunch of Caboose's at one point, so. Dave BNSF has a few duplicates, especially ADM tank cars from Microtrains. Bought a bunch when one of my favorite shops closed. Yeah, and that's, you know, I don't mind having duplicates of stuff that I enjoy. I guess it's like these MDT cars, right? Like, I don't know why I have duplicates of them. They're nothing. Yeah, I mean, I like, so the kind of freight cars I like are like this kind of stuff, right? These are just sort of like micro trains, you know, like this kind of stuff. Like that's the kind of freight cars I like. I don't even know why I own all these freight cars, except that I do. Tom is asking if I have an extra large round mop brush to dust off your rolling stock. So I'm going to show you what I have to dust off my rolling stock. I have this. This is a Viking Revolution Badger brush. And it is just a, what it is it's like a shaving brush. But it's got nice soft bristles. And I use this to dust things off because they're nice and soft. I also have some of these guys as well, but these are a little harder. So I tend to use the Badger brush. So they don't, nothing extra large. This is a N scale layout after all. So yeah. That's the key. So why don't we start taking some stuff out, start putting some stuff on the layout. I don't even know where to start. Why am I finding this like so hard to start just taking stuff out of boxes? Canister air propellant, I have some of that upstairs as well, but makeup brushes work well. They do. I like, that was actually a pretty cheap shaving brush that I got off Amazon. So yeah. Oh, there you go. Steve87 Dave, thanks for reminding me. I was going to go to my favorite hobby shop tomorrow for his clearance sale. Fortunately, someone picked up his entire stock. There are people out there that do that. Just, you know, buy stuff. David says, I have duplicates, triplicates, and quadruplicates. I don't know how many pleats are in there, although I have over 20, but I've got some of those too. Yeah, no, we won't be doing that. So Dakman says start with the Conrail. I think Sparky's around too. He might appreciate that. This is, and I won't do this with all of them, but this is a Bluford shops. One of my very few Bluford shops, but I really like the bay window. So that's particularly why I got this one. This one I got from the hobby store in Piscataway, New Jersey, when I went to visit. I just thought it was a really cool looking car. So let's see if I go back here. Where should we put these? Let's put these back on this track right here. One Caboose, ha ha ha. Now it's interesting how small this Caboose is compared to the box cars. I don't know that I realized that. This is a multi-unboxing tonight. This could take several hours to get through just what's on my desk here, but part of what I'm thinking is once these are empty, these are probably going to go in a blue bin. Thomas, that is how you spell Piscataway, I think. I don't really remember. A steel barbecue brush is what Sparky is recommended. Where do you check to see if there are any gift memberships available? You have to click on it right when it comes up. So right when somebody gives the gift membership, it'll pop up in chat and you've got to be just one of the first ones to click on it, I believe is my understanding of how gift memberships work. Can you imagine Heath picking out a train to run? 5 cars unboxing would be 20 hours, 4 hours each car, probably. Where was the lightning? There is no lightning tonight. There might be some lightning too. Next one I'm going to unbox is my other Bluford Shops Caboose. This I got because of all of those box cars that are back there, which are Great Northern. I wanted a Great Northern Caboose just because. Yeah, apparently I have a Caboose track now. But Dagman says, you must have a lot of practice putting on the track. That was too easy. I don't find it that hard to put things on the track. I know some people talk about having a really hard time. I kind of just do it by feel. I don't try and do it by sight. I just try and do it by feel. So I don't know that this counts as a caboose. This is really much more of a shoving platform than really a caboose, but Blueford Shops just makes some really nice nice units, and I just wanted to pick it up. Container Man wants me to use a rerailer. I do have one. If I need to use it, I will, but I don't need to use it. I mean, you know. Did that seem to take a long time when I was back there? I don't know. Maybe it did. Need some Frisco cabouses. I don't have a Frisco caboose, actually. That is a good point. I don't have San Francisco. I do have a couple New York Centrals. I do have a Canada one. But got a couple New York Centrals. I got a Popsicle one. I got a Pepsi one. I got a fire prevention one. I've got a Smokey the Bear one. Here's a Lehigh Valley one that I like the colors on a lot. A lot of these I bought just because I liked the colors. Let's open this one up next. I like this one. 1976 Bicentennial Caboose. Curly says, I get so mad because I can't get it on the track. I throw them a mile. Yeah, and I think you just need to practice. I don't know. Cayenne is letting me have a few moments to myself while he finishes off a glass of milk. That's so nice of him. Is there anything going on with mail exchange for in New York City? I'm not sure. I don't know the answer. I don't think so. Steve 87 PSAP, since you don't have pictures, how will you get them back in the correct box? These do all have pictures. Actually, this one I put on the back because the inside plastic is whatever, but these have pictures on the inside. So everything I'm unboxing, well, I don't know about everything. We'll see what we get to at the end, but everything I'm unboxing right now does have pictures associated with it. So we will just pop this right on here. Now that everyone's talking about me putting the trains on the track and I'm thinking about it more, it's definitely getting harder to put them on the track. What type of engines are on the Smokey the Bear Railroad? I don't know. I have a whole Smokey the Bear Z-scale set, but I don't have a locomotive for it, so I don't actually know what the locomotive would be on it. Probably because it's micro trains, it would probably be an F-type, just because that seems to be what they have. Let's, while we're on the Atlas kick, let's take this guy out. So this guy as well, because it's got the darker color plastic, I put the picture on the back. So again, does have a picture. You just have to go find it. This is a small caboose, a very short caboose. I'm guessing these are like different years, like depending on the size of them and the different shapes and stuff. They're probably all different years. This Atlas is actually a what's that called? N-scale enthusiast car. I've got a couple N-scale enthusiast things, not many. But I do have a couple. This one, I believe, as well was... oh, no, that one's not. I thought that one might have been. One of these other ones, I think, is somewhere. Let's keep going. Don't slow down. Let's just do this other Atlas while we're on the Atlas kick. And then this will be a good transition to the microtrains ones. And we'll keep going from there. So who can tell me, who knows, the cupola of a caboose? Does it go to the front or the back of a consist? Yeah, Tim, it would be kind of fun to turn these into a little bit of a hotel situation, and kind of make that into something. I should go to this one when I'm doing this to be a little easier. All right, so let's transition now to, I think all the rest of these are micro trains. So we'll open up the other pacemaker caboose that I have. So Split Rock says it doesn't matter. The seats are walkover types or they have 2 seats on each side. There you go. And you can see in this one a little bit better the picture on the inside, so I know exactly where to put it. And the other thing that I find interesting, and even amongst Microtrains pacemaker cars that I have, they're different colors. The different color reds, different color silvers, or whatever you want to call that. So it's kind of different things. Should we stick with, let's go up to Canada for a second. This is a more modern Caboose that I have from Microtrains. Some of these are pretty old though. Like you look at this New York Central one. This New York Central one is actually a KD, whereas this is the new, the new Microtrains box. So it's part of what I like is seeing the difference in just the cases over the years. Oh, and you see the difference in prices too, right? Like $435 versus this one was $27.15. Mike taking a very philosophical approach to cabooses. What if the cupola is in the middle? Yeah, that would be hard. That'd be hard to figure out. At Split Rock, we had a lot of fun with that question. You have to take half the cabooses off the track then. Uh-oh. Oh, you're saying you could have had a lot of fun. Yeah, Tail End Tuesday. Oh, although it's Sunday. Oh. I have been putting modern Microtrains couplers on everything. A lot of my cars, just especially like that KD one, has the pre-1996 couplers, which is an older style coupler, which is not as good of a Microtrains coupler. So over time, I will try and upgrade them to all Microtrains couplers, but ultimately, for the stuff that's over on, see, now I'm having a hard time putting trains on the track because now you guys got me all nervous about putting trains on the track. Everything that's over on the Time Saver has metal wheels, has brand new Microtrains couplers, because that's the I believe the B end would be the end without the brake. Now I can't remember. I used to remember whether like the B for brake, but I think it's the B end doesn't have the brake and the other one does. So I don't know. The Canadian Caboose was in the wrong box. Why do you say that? It says Canadian Series Caboose. And this is the one that the Canada Caboose was in. What makes you think that was the wrong box for it? Let's do this. Let's do my Smokey the Bear and fire prevention car. So this is another Microtrains, but an older Microtrains. Not a newer Microtrains, but newish. 7 cabooses on the track. Ha ha ha. Thunder and lightning. Oh, that would have been good if I had a Thunder and Lightning setup. I could have done the whole that whole spiel. But yeah, we're not going to get to that today. There we go. Now, I don't know where in the world you'd ever see that many cabooses in one place, but yeah. How do you change them? The way I usually change them is I just swap out the whole trucks, because that's much easier. And in a lot of cases, if you need to swap out the coupler, you also likely have a set of trucks with pizza cutter wheels on them, because a lot of the older stuff seems to all have pizza cutter wheels. So that's generally how I do it. I do have some Z-scale stuff that I need to swap out that I haven't even begun thinking about yet, because I have no idea how I'm gonna make that happen. But let's take out the Lehigh Valley one. On a Caboose, isn't the brake wheel on the front? Sparky, which end is the front of a caboose? There's some, yeah, I know. So, I don't know if people remember, I had my arm wrapped up a little while ago because I had a little thing on my arm removed. They put this thing on me and they're like, oh, it'll fall off in a day or two, don't worry about it. And it's been like a week and a half. So like it's starting to come off, but it's not completely, I don't know. I don't know. Container Man says, Heath, I drove through Tulsa today, but Claude was at Dennis's out west in Fort Supply, Oklahoma. That's really cool. Container Man drives around and he checks in with people as he can. The end with the brake wheels, the front. Yeah, I don't know. It hasn't healed into my skin. They put like skin glue on me. And the skin glue is lasting a lot longer than I think it should. So this Redding Caboose looks like it was almost repainted. You could almost see like the paint on it. Like this is an older, definitely an older thing. Oh, and this case too. So this case, the end of it actually says 40-foot boxcar, Northern Western, but it had the caboose in it. So, hey, it's got a weight in it though. You guys missed it because I already switched the camera, but I think, yeah, I am concerned if I pull it off that I will deflate or leak. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. So now it's definitely harder to put the cars on because I can't really reach over the cars. But you know, we're getting here. Okay, here's a dumb question. Which end does the smokestack on a caboose go? Facing the engine or facing the rear? Yes, George, 100% skin glue is super glue. I think that's kind of a cool little old act. Oh, see, David's giving away all the tricks. Apparently, I just should take a shower. Let's get this Pepsi car out. You can see too some of the pictures, the greens washed out. Like some pictures didn't come out as well as I would have hoped, but yeah. See, this is what I would have thought too. Is that, you know, so the smoke doesn't get into the cabin. But according to Split Rock, it doesn't matter which is the front or the back. So if it doesn't matter which is the front or the back, then the smokestack wouldn't really matter which side it was on. And the smokestack as well. Okay, I'm gonna use the rear railer. The smokestack as well, actually, it goes up and then shoots out to the side. So I don't think it's. Oh, I just realized. Sorry, I wasn't showing you putting that on. I used the rear railer. Don't tell anybody, but I used the rear railer. Another reason I stick to HO, it's not as hard to see, yeah. That's why we put the cars on in the back first, then work towards the front edge of the layout. That's what I'm doing. What are you talking about? That's exactly what I'm doing. See, the back, I'm working my way front. Uh-oh. I've been saying uh-oh a lot recently. Sparky says, Heath, why do you think Split Rock's telling you the truth? Maybe he's leading you down the garden path. He could be. I don't know. Of all the people that give me a hard time, for some reason he's one that I think is probably speaking the truth. So what is this guy? I can't even read it. Petaluma and Santa Rosa, 34-foot wood-sheathed caboose with slant-sided cupola. How do you say cupola? Cupola? Cupolola? There you go. Back of the caboose depends on the direction of the travel of your train. I like it. That sounds like a good, oh. There we go. We're gonna run out of track soon to use the rear railer, but So now I've got 2 New York Central and 1 Pennsylvania. So let's do the Pennsylvania one first. And this one came out of an old KD box. Oh, and it does say 34-foot wood sheath caboose. So that box may have actually been, that box may have been correct. I think this this railer at this angle it's a pretty steep angle, and it kind of knocks it up, or kind of runs down a little fast. I pronounced it Fred. I like that, so I put this up. So this is another KD Microtrains 34-foot wood sheath caboose, New York City. This was one I think like I bought. You know, I used to go and kind of find things that were like $1 on eBay and buy some stuff. A CA Caboose about an hour west of me. There you go. I'm assuming you're talking about the Petaluma and Santa Rosa, which are definitely cities in California. The other problem with this railer being at the steepness that it is the trip pin hits. All right, so one more caboose, and then if people want to start putting in what they want to see next, we got the modern micro trains, we've got the anniversary cars, we've got the bicentennial and friendship trains, or we've got the general freight. So after I get this one on the track, we'll venture into the next things. I put the cabooses in the boxes based on how the plastic cutouts are in the boxes. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to put this caboose on over here and then hopefully roll it over to this. So there we go. So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cabooses. It says Conrail next. I don't know that I have more Conrail. James from Boulder Creek, Super Chat says, does it say Santa Rosa? Must have run out of the end of Rosa. Let's see. It does say Santa Rosa. You're correct. I was wrong. Container Man with a super chat says, which side of the caboose do you sit on if it's a bay window caboose? And I would say the side with the best scenery. Split Rock says 16 cabooses, you only need 2. Yeah. Rosa, it's the same to me. Do you feel any different having cars in the boxes rather than on the layout? It does. I mean, I used to not have any sort of layout. That's not a good view of it. I'll have to get a better view of the whole layout over there. But yeah, I didn't have a layout. I didn't have a space to put cars. So I do feel it's pretty awesome to be able to have stuff out there. Joey, we talk about this a lot over on the Discord. You can poke down into the description and see the link for the Discord. But we talk a lot about when you really want something, but you know, there's really no justification for it, but you want it anyway. And yeah, so Split Rock says conductor and brakeman, one sits on each side. So there you go. And now we don't even have, well, not we, but in general, they're not running cabooses. So, Awesome America says, great question. As our guard's conductor sat on the left side of the car, but had mirrored portholes, so it really didn't matter. There you go. Only matters as train travels through on the curves. So I'm going to put, just because I like them, I'm going to do these next. And I didn't see too many people voting, so RailServe John says, if I want it, I buy it. And that's kind of the way I do things as well. So these are anniversary cars from Microtrains. They are anniversaries for microtrains related things. Oh, Tulsa, Oklahoma still uses cabooses. There you go. Are they on a class 1 or on a different one? But did Boulder roll down a hill? Oh, gotta head out. See you later, James. Money would be my guess, but I don't know. I don't know the answer. If only one crew, then they had to switch sides to see the inside of every curve, looking ahead for issues. Containerman says Class 1 in Tulsa, Oklahoma still uses cabooses. Tim says, if I want it, I put it on a wish list and then wait for it to go out of stock. That's one way to do it. That is one way to do it. So I'm not going to do these in order because I'm not sure of the order, but like here I've got doubles of these. Looks like these are about of the same generation too, because the boxes are the same. But these are all like microtrains specific. So like this one, for example, is the 50th anniversary of the Magnamatic coupler. And it's really kind of a cool car. You open it up and it's actually got the coupler inside it. So this was one of their 2019 cars. This year is the 50th anniversary of microtrains, so they're doing a bunch of 50th anniversary stuff now. But this is definitely one of the ones I really like, is this 50th one. And it seems like this does not want to roll. So, see, and this is what happens with me in N-Scale, is I start running into other things, especially when I'm trying to do this on screen and do things quickly and I'm rushing, and then I start knocking other things out of the way. This is the yard is pretty tight, which I knew it would be, but it definitely makes getting things out of the middle interesting. So that's the 50th, and this was the 45th, which I thought was pretty cool. Although it does say 2017 on it, so I think this was not 45 years of microtrains. This was 45 years of 45 years. Sorry, this isn't 45 years of the coupler. This is 45 years of microtrains. So cabooses were used to let the crews see if any fires started along the tracks from the steam engine's coal embers. You don't have that today because no steam pulls freight. I thought it also, at least in a yard, it gave the conductors a place to sit, like if the conductor was at the back of the train, it gave him a place to be as opposed to just hanging off the last car, which is my understanding as to what they do now, which it's pretty amazing to me that is FRA approved, that you're allowed to ride on the back of a boxcar like that. But I don't know, it is. Okay, so this is another one I like. I've got two of these, so I'm only going to open one because why open both of them? This was a KD anniversary car, and this is from Z to G, model railroaders choose KD. And this one came out in 1986. So I don't know why I find these anniversary cars. I like them. They're fun for me. I don't know if they're fun for anybody else. Gave the conductor a place to sleep. Need a 25th, Heath. Have a couple. I have a 25th. The 25th is a the 25th, sorry. Come on, couplers. There we go. Okay, so the 25th, let's see if I can find it here. Here it is. So the reason the 25th wasn't with the other ones is because the 25th is this huge boxcar, and I don't know why it's so big, but I didn't have it stacked. I mean, you can see the, you know, the difference in size. So I didn't have it stacked with the rest, so that's why it's not in this pile. But I do have a 25th. Here's another Magnamatic one, the complete coupler system. So another sort of advertising car for microtrains. Yeah, no, that's why I asked the poll question, is because we are not going to put these all away. They're going to stay out, and we're going to maybe push some of them over to the staging yard, but I think that will likely happen tomorrow night sometime when people are not watching me, because I am likely going to knock a bunch of things off the track when I do it, so we're not going to do that. While I have a moment, I do just want to thank everyone that's been giving super chats and super stickers, as well as people that are members on both Patreon and YouTube. I also have, if you notice, I put a bunch of the background flats back up. These are all from PGH Train Fanatic, one of the channel's sponsors. All this track and stuff that I got, all of the, you can see I've got a bunch of the, these guys all came from Iron Planet Hobbies. A lot of my technology came from Iron Planet Hobbies. Also, Mini Prince is also sponsored the channel. So I'm just going to play my little thank you video real quick. Please check out some of the sponsors, and please consider supporting the channel.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Thanks to everyone that is here, that's contributing. I see a bunch of people heading out for the night. Hope everyone has a great week. Sparky just got one of my shirts. Yeah, the merch stuff's pretty cool now. I've got it right in YouTube. You can find it. You can find it on my website. You can find it all over the place, which is pretty awesome. Here is a 3rd anniversary Microtrains car, which I'm a little curious about, because it is kind of a pretty detailed car for only being a 3rd anniversary car. So I'm not sure. It says 1993 anniversary car. Would 1993 have been the 3rd year of Microtrains if this is the 50th year? I'm not sure about that, but I might be wrong about Tulsa, Oklahoma being a Class 1, but I've looked it up on Google Maps. There are many cabooses for switching in the city. A lot of streets to cross. There you go. That makes a lot of sense. So the other thing, let's see if I can get this on the track. Come on. Come on. I may need to start putting the cars on over here and rolling around. Yeah, see, that's what it doesn't seem like 1993 would be the 3rd anniversary of Microtrains, but so I'm a little confused by that that one. So if anybody has the history of this one, the 1993 one, I'm curious. I'm very curious. Here's the 10-year one, which is one of my very few hoppers that I have. 10 years, and it says 1090, I guess, for 10 years. See that? So now this probably says 10 years in 1990. 33-foot twin bay hopper, rib sides, and it says Jersey Central. So this might not even be the right box for this. I have to look. I think I may have two of these somewhere. So I may have to check that out, see if that's actually correct. Although it is kind of funny that my other hoppers are Jersey Central as well. So maybe that's just what Microtrains makes is Jersey Central stuff. The 101 Loco uses a Caboose because they have to make a lot of long shoves in order to service customers. That makes sense. I can see that. I thought they split from KD around 1990. Oh, there we go. That could be why. That could be. Let's do this. This is another one that I've got a double of. This is the 5-year one. Let's see what year it says. 5th anniversary. Does it have a year on it? It does have a year, I think. MTL. So this is 1995, 5th anniversary. So we are talking about Microtrains anniversary, not KD's anniversary. So maybe it is. A lot of my N-scale couplers are truck mounted. I will probably keep them as truck mounted because my curves are very, very, very tight curves, and I don't know that I can get around my curves with truck mounted couplers. This curve right here in this corner is 9 3/4, and the curve in the other side is 11. Oh, and I thought I was on this one. This curve here is 9 3/4, and that curve over there is 11. So this is a Microtrains line 1991 car, and it's got Z and N. So I don't know that this is, it's got a really cool little, let's take this off, you might be able to see it better. It's got a really cool little guy making, it's got the magnetic coupler, he puts it in a little thing and the little train shoots out the other side. So MR website says they broke off in 1990, so that's why, that then makes sense why the 93 is the 3rd anniversary. So that kind of makes sense. I don't know why I just said kind of twice, but it's fun seeing all the trains on the tracks. Like it's the first time kind of filling up the tracks with train cars. So that's kind of fun. What is this guy called? This is a gondola, I'm assuming. Yep, 40-foot GS drop-down gondola. Microtrains 35th anniversary car. Joey, good luck with the kids. I hope everything goes down smoothly tonight. So after we do the rest of these Microtrain cars, and I only have a couple more of those, should we just start on the general freight? I'll try and pull out some of the interesting freight stuff. So I am not going to unbox this guy. This guy is a Microtrains anniversary. It matches the boxcar I put on 2 cars ago, but it's just a truck on a trailer, so I won't put that one on. And this one I like as well. This is a 1946 to 1976 KD anniversary car. Because you're a kind of guy. I know it happens. Dan says, I filled my modules up with all my rolling stock and operations seized. There you go. There you go. I was at Microtrains when I stopped to see Steve Arnold just after their fires they had in Talent, Oregon. Yeah, that was rough, those fires they had. So here we go. This will be the last of the anniversary cars. And let's see if I can get this one on the track. Although I can't tell. Oh, there we go. This coupler is a little bit stiff on that guy. let me just go to this view real quick, move this over so you can get a little bit better view of all of the items that we, so that's everything we've put on so far. Rusty says, I have a KD N scale tank car. Yeah, I like a lot of the KD stuff. Put the trailer on a flatbed car. I don't have any flatbed cars ready to be pulled out of boxes. So I know I said I was going to do the general freight, and then I looked over and I said, should I do the bicentennial stuff first? Or should I do the regular freight stuff first? So in the chat, if you guys can just put bicentennial or put freight, and we'll see which we're going to do first. But our just ended the poll, and the poll is: do you leave your trains on the track? 82% leave their trains on the track. So thank you, Jeff. It is pretty exciting having the trains and having the background flats and stuff. Like, it's really fun kind of seeing it all come together. So we got, let's see, general freight, bicentennial, freight, bicentennial, bicentennial, Conrail, which wasn't a choice, freight. Wow, 350 cars. That's a lot. Bicentennial, 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 passenger. I don't have the passenger stuff here, but let's do it. Let's get the bicentennial out. We'll find a good track to put them on. We'll probably put them on. This track here, and after we do that, then we'll pull some freight out. We'll see what time it is, then we'll pull some freight out. So I don't know. Let's see. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9. I should have 13. So I'm obviously missing some. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these all came with hornhook couplers. And when I swapped all the trucks on the Great Northern stuff on the Time Saver, I took all the trucks and the couplers from over there and I put them on these. So I think that's where all of these came from. To make this go a little bit faster, I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to, while I'm over here at the bench, I'm just going to pull all 9 of them out. And we'll... Dan, I think it's still pretty cool. I know what you're saying, that yes, in the 80s it was definitely a thing, but yeah. So who can tell me, if you notice, some of these are red and some of these are blue. Why? Does anybody know? And these are KD as well. So they say $495 here, and then our price is $249. So these definitely were on sale. I got a lot of these just, together at once. Obviously, I'm missing some. I do need to go through and figure out which ones I'm missing. David, have fun in the basement. We'll see you later. Intermodal was not an option. I don't have any intermodal stuff. Ray says he's not awake. Ray Boble, is bicentennial 1976? Yes, that was the bicentennial was 1976 because 1776 was the founding of the country. Yeah. What's kind of fun about these cars is they actually have, like, over on the side, like, this is Georgia. So it's got the state capital and it's got sort of what it's known for. So it's got the little peanuts, its main industry on the side. So a lot of the stuff I'm pulling out right now probably won't stay on the tracks long term. But I thought these are kind of fun things that I have. So, I thought they'd be fun. Wait, you have a pink 1 container, but no well cars at N scale. I have 1 well car. I have, yeah, that's it. I have 1 well car. You would think I'd have more, wouldn't you? But I don't. I only have 1. red, white, and blue an American thing? Yes. I'm sure that's probably why these are red and blue, but I'm wondering why some are red. Georgia should have a peach. Oh, that's a good point. I don't know why it's, I don't know why it doesn't. The other thing that's interesting to me about starting to put all these cars on here is just how few I can actually get on here. I kind of thought I would, well, I guess, yes, I get the intermodal is the, intermodal means that it's transportation stuff that uses more than one method of transportation. So like intermodal would be rail and truck and boat, which is why the containers are intermodal trains. I don't consider myself having intermodal stuff because it's only really it's really so few items. But yeah. I did actually buy, I've got some other containers, but not really trains to put them on. And my thought was more that I'll use them as, you know, scenery type things, not so much. Yeah, no, so yes, I know if I fill it up, I can't switch. The plan is, the intention is that all of this is going to get pushed over to the staging yard when I'm done. So I'm just putting it all there because it's easier to show over there. Jimmy Carter is from Georgia and he was a peanut farmer. Almost 250th. What do you call that sesqua bicentennial? I don't know. Red roof were painted with pigments that reflects red and blue ones. No, but anyway. Now add a caboose. Yeah, I don't have any more cabooses on my table, but Anthony lived next to the largest peach orchard in the country. So what kind of this freight do people even want to see? It's funny to me, but of all the stuff that I have, what I like about the freight cars would be stuff like this, like Domino Sugars and ball trains, which you probably can't see. But like Domino Sugar, ball, let's see, what else do I kind of... Like the normal regular stuff for me isn't as fun. I don't really know why. I guess I'm just, you know, I'm more of a passenger guy. That's just kind of the kind of way it is. Although I do like these, just being a New York guy. Speaking of Georgia, there's a Georgia one. See you later, John. Have a good night. Have a good week. Yeah, the beer cars have neat graphics, and that's a lot of the microtrain stuff. A lot of these are regular stuff, but a lot of the other microtrain stuff that I try and get is stuff that I like like I got this because I like the drawing on it, or the paint scheme. This is a bananas one that I really like. That one's weathered, which is kind of interesting. I have a bunch of these PS1 cars too. I just like the paint scheme on them. I thought they were kind of interesting. I like that car because of the colors also, which is kind of fun. I got this car just because I'm in New York and I thought I needed to have one of those. Refrigerator Express car, which is kind of cool. Here's America Beef Packers car. Here is a Black Hills Packaging Company that I like. St. Mary's Railroad. I was looking at this earlier and I was wondering if anybody can tell me, is that a real railroad, St. Mary's Railroad? I haven't actually heard of that. Exactly, Container Man, exactly. The billboard cars. Oh, outlawed in the 20s, really? There you go. Yeah, I like the Domino. I like the Sugar Car. Ray's heading out as well. Police cars, fire trucks. Yeah, we've got a lot of that stuff. Yeah, the D&H car I really like. I've got a couple of these pacemaker cars as well, which I've got like sets of them, and then I've got those singles. Here's like a Clover Bloom butter. Yeah, beef packers. I know, right? I thought about getting the 49 state cars. I just don't know. There's a St. Mary's Railroad in southeast Georgia. Doesn't say any more really about where it might be, but it could be southeast Georgia. So I'm just sort of, I don't know why, I'm just sort of spreading these out right now. What are MDT? I've got a whole bunch of the, Merchants Dispatch. I've got a whole bunch of MDT cars. I have the white MDT cars. I've got this wood color MDT cars. And I'm also curious too, to some extent, like these are essentially the same cars, but they're two different numbers. But the numbers are, they're 174-520 and 174-820. New York Central Early Bird. So here we go. This one's fun. Parrot Potatoes. Armor Refrigerator Line. So yeah, oh, this one says New York Central Automobile. I wonder if they put automobile cars. The beer cars are very expensive. So I don't have a lot of the beer cars just because they are so expensive. But I tried to get a bunch of like New York Central stuff because the idea on my layout was that when the circus came to town, the New York Central would have to move all of their trains out of the way. Do I have some Heinz cars? I definitely have Heinz cars in Z scale. I don't know if I have any of the Heinz cars in N scale. I do have some more Microtrains freight car stuff up there in the corner. I just haven't gotten to taking pictures and stuff of them. These were kind of more almost my, I don't want to say cheaper, but they were my cheaper, the cheaper stuff that I get. Most of these are, you know, older series Microtrains, not a lot of the, now I'm looking for a box that's a newer series. Not, you know, not a lot of this kind of the newer series of cars, right? So this would be older, this is newer, and this is this year's series. So now will there be any room for engines? So the engine tracks, so the theory behind this yard and the way that the theory on how this yard would run is that the engine tracks, engine house and whatnot's going to be down here. This here would be the runaround, so there wouldn't be any cars in general parked on this track here for the runaround. And then all these tracks, obviously, you can just pull the trains straight out from there. So I'm just putting stuff on the tracks right now. It's, you know, it's not as, it's not, I'm not putting them on for operation's sake. I'm just putting them on. Loco service area. Yeah, see, I'm not an operations guy. Norman Rose says, when the circus came to town, they had to move all the beer cars out. Otherwise, the elephants would drink all the beer. Yes, thank you. My dad says, really fun watching the whole scene come together. I agree. I am really enjoying it. Engines, locomotives, I've got them. They're just not on the track. One thing that I'm realizing is I have a lot more trains than I have track, which I'm going to have to come to terms with at some point. I like this car here, Pittsburgh and Lake Erie. That's kind of a cool car too. Let's start putting some of these on though, just to get some more cars out onto the track, just because I want to. Jeff says it's a Class 3 railroad. What are we talking about? Which railroad? Now I'm I'm not sure which railroad Jeff's talking about. It's a Class 3 railroad and began service in 1906 on October 24th. It's still in operation today. Are we talking about MDT or are we talking about St. Mary? Yeah, I have more trains than track too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out. I mean, my interchange is kind of over here on the side. So I do have a way to bring other cars and stuff on. But, yeah, I do like the old wooden box cars as well. I think they're fun. He's talking about St. Mary's Railroad. Got it. Got it. All right, let's go back over here. Let's put some more box cars on. And I'm going to put them up here and roll them down. A lot of these have real pizza cutter wheels on them. The pizza cutter wheels make it much easier to put them on the tracks, but they're definitely, it helps if you have the switch thrown in the correct direction. So we'll just push those down there. I like seeing all the colors. Like, I'm sure some of the operations people are like, oh, those wouldn't run together or whatever. But for me, I like seeing the different colors. I like more trains than track, which is why I belong to a club. Yeah, I tried to join a club. I may still yet. I like this one. This is a weathered, not weathered by me, but a weathered Pennsylvania Railroad train. I do kind of like the Pennsylvania Railroad stuff. Let's see here, bananas. Got to put the bananas car on, right? I don't have C55 Atlas. I do have code 55 Pico. So maybe I will be okay. We'll test it out. We'll find out eventually. Let's put the ball glass jar on. I know that's kind of a favorite of mine. I do like the billboard cars. I like the old Tyco HO billboard cars as well. Heath, I could have fun with some hump sidings. Yeah, if I had to have a big, huge hump yard, that would be a lot of fun. It's just kind of cool to get out some of this stuff, see what I have. I do think as well, oops, knocking some stuff off the track. I do think as well this gives me a chance to kind of look through it and decide, what I'm going to keep and what I'm not going to keep. I do think some of this stuff is probably not going to be kept. Here's crazy crystal water. Probably pare down some of this stuff to more stuff that I can actually operate. So how many people can operate in the room? The plan for the operations in the room are 2 people local, and then it would be 1 person remote over on the time saver. And what I have is the section that I'm standing in right now. When this peninsula comes up, it gives me a 3-foot by 3-foot square on this side and a 3-foot by 3-foot square on the other side. So that's pretty much, it's a good amount of space for 2 operators. So that's the general plan for that. I didn't say the tracks of the club were empty. Of course, there's 7. Yeah, I know. Yes, they didn't run unit trains in the 40s. Bologna, California pie reefers ran in unit trains. I threw my pizza cutter out. I like my pizza cutter. Ooh, 53, 54, 53. Can we get the likes over the amount of people watching? And I'm not saying everyone should leave the stream. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, let's, Domino Sugars, we got to put that one on, right? And this looks like it's slightly weathered. It looks like it's white with some brown weathering, which I don't know. I don't know if this was Microtrains weathered or if this was whoever I bought it from weathered. Oh, so Roy sees it as 55, 56. Looks like I see it as 55, 57 right now, which is kind of fun. Here's another little runaround track. This little runaround track is here to help get stuff to where the car float is going to be. So it gives me a little bit more space to throw a couple extra cars up here. See, what I think is going to be fun is when I do this with the circus stuff. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Pulling out as much of the circus stuff as I can pull out. And just for fun, let's pull out the DHNY I Love New York car, because who doesn't love New York? I know. We don't need any comments in the chat. I'm just saying I like these DHNY cars. And yes, I know I'm putting these on the engine tracks. I know. And the other thing I don't know why, I like this Pittsburgh and Lake Erie car as well. Roy says he doesn't like New York. I know. Mystic loves the Domino car. It's a favorite of mine as well. Yeah, I know, right? Funny you mention earthquakes too. Like every once in a while, I will just like bump into something and, you know, just knock over all of the, just knock over all the cars on the time saver, just while I'm working on other stuff. So it's kind of, Roy, you've never been to anywhere in New York? I'm not talking, not just New York City, but like any of New York you've never been to? So this is kind of cool. I don't know. I never, I don't think, can it get wider? No, it's about as wide as it'll get. That's kind of cool though, with the background flats and everything. It's kind of coming together. It's kind of coming together. I don't know why. I feel like I need to put some more cars on just to fill things up. I know. Once it's filled up, you can't operate anything. But so the question is, should I try and move all this stuff around to the staging yard now while people are watching? Or should I try and move it around to the staging yard later, another time? And this is where it has nothing to do with the prototype. This only has to do with me. But like these boxcars that are higher than these little ones, like my OCD is saying that like I should be running similar size boxcars together. And I don't know if that is at all true. But that's what but that's the way I'm feeling, and I don't know. Fred likes New York because it's nowhere near him. Oh yeah, you gotta sometimes, yeah. How many cars can your Loco pull? Is there any way to measure the pulling force of a model Loco? Yes. Not DJ Trains. What is his name? James Wright. Whatever his channel is, he measures the pulling force of a locomotive. He's got this little like scale thing that he hooks his locomotives up to when he does reviews, and he tests the pulling power of a locomotive so that you can kind of, you know, compare it to other locomotives, which I think is kind of an interesting little a little test to do. But yes, I'm sure there was a transition period. Yeah, and I'm sure that my railroad is transition is one way to put it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so if you check out James Wright's reviews, he Yeah. Oh, Roy says I missed his answer. Roy, you can make me go looking. I've never been anywhere on the East Coast. Farthest east in the States I've been is Rochester, Minnesota. Well, Roy, we're going to have to get you out here then, aren't we? It's kind of funny because I feel like New York City, the closest, the city that I feel feels the closest to me to New York City is actually San Francisco, even though I know it's very different, but just sort of from a city perspective or whatnot, San Francisco feels the closest. So it's always kind of interesting to me, but yeah, I've been pretty fortunate between work and other things. I've been able to travel a lot. A luggage scale might work if it, you need to be testing like down in the 1 pound range, especially an N scale. So, it might work, but it might only work if you. Yeah, I don't know that it would be fine enough. The scale that James Wright uses is actually here. Let me see if I can find it. I had saved it in eBay. He mentioned one time what it was. Let's see if I can still bring it up. Here we go. This is the scale that James uses. It is a 2N digital force gauge economic dynameter force gauge push and pull tester for, well, it looks like $51.90 right now. Comes with all these little attachments. He uses just the hook attachment into the thing. Yeah. Why are different boxcars different heights? I don't know the answer. New York State is one of the most diverse states in the country. That is true. Sam's Trains has a thing on test pulling power. You can use a fish scale. There you go. I kind of like the New York City subway once I worked out where to get my connections. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think there's a meter. It's called a Newton meter. Sam's Trains does it as well. Yeah, so this is the one that James Wright just bought a new one. His broke. This is the new one he bought. I was almost going to buy one, and then I was kind of like, why? For me, it's just not something I thought I really needed. I don't do enough reviews, but I think if you do a lot of reviews and stuff, I think it's kind of a cool thing to have. So that's what it is. That is what it is. So they're not high cubes, though. I guess that's what's confusing me a little bit, is the difference in height aren't because they're high cubes or anything. It's just that they're, like, for example, this, come on, get on there. For example, just looking at even this D&H car compared to like this C&J car, like this D&H car is much bigger. Here's a good example. Actually, these two. Right? So like this car compared to the Domino's car, right? They're two very different size cars. And I'm guessing it's different regulations or anything. Oh, there we go. DeBob's N-Scale says, N-Scale doesn't usually pull enough weight to really make a standout measurement when I've done it. DeBob's N-Scale's got some great reviews. One of the ones I loved was his Kincaid train review. He's also been doing some reviews of, and of course, of these M&TL cars, which are Medford Talent and Lake Creek. But if you're into that kind of stuff too. So yeah, like all these FT locomotives probably won't pull enough to make a huge difference, but I gotta mark all these too and get decoders in these and do other stuff. Old boxers. So I know this is about length, right? Older boxcars were a 40-foot limit length, but what about height? See you later, Trackside Mike. Yeah, everywhere in New York City has tiny rooms. It's kind of so XS and high cube. So, but that's not a high cube. I thought this was a high cube. I'm pulling a. These are the Microtrains Constellation cars, and you can see the. Oh, so I guess this is so this. So the St. Mary's, I guess, is considered a high cube then. But see, this has the smaller wheels on it. Oh, and I have completely the wrong camera up. So this has smaller wheels on it. It's lower, but it is the same height as the St. Mary's, although it's not on the track right now. When I put it up on track, it'll be a little higher. But then the Domino's car is smaller. So is this D&H then? Is that a high cube? I don't know. High cubes were the shorter box cars that were excess height. Well, you compared a 40 to a 60 foot. So a 40 and a 60 foot, the heights are also different in addition to the lengths, I guess. Wrong angle, Heath. Yeah, I know. I got it there. I got you there. Probably due to tunnels. I think, yeah, different heights. I think your cars that carried appliances were higher. Tim says boxcars were built to different heights as the years went by. It's only a high cube if it has a white line across the top. Well, so Microtrains calls these, they call these excess height modified series. So I guess these aren't considered high cubes. If you want to know about prototypical railroad operations, do not come to my channel. I'm learning. We'll get there. Let's see. What last car should... I've got all these New York City refrigerator cars also. Got a bunch of MDTs, I'm going to have to pare some of this stuff down. What about, should we put a New Haven boxcar on? Let's put a New Haven boxcar on. The ends usually has a white top on the ends. There you go. There were railroads in the 30s or 40s that raised roof heights. So the name high cube was used for the 40-foot cars that were excess height. Now they just call them excess height. That would explain why those are called excess height. So I'm kind of at the point where I am not going to be able to get any more cars in this main yard. Kind of filled up. I like the mix and non-match look. I like the different colors and stuff. Auto car haulers are taller. I have an auto car hauler from like the 80s, but that's about it. Yeah, we are all learning. The new MTL 60-foot TTX box cars are high cube. I don't think I have any of those. I didn't get any of those. But there you go. Do your boxcars have walkways on the roof? They were eliminated in 1970. So roof walk, no roof walk. So all of these have roof walks. None of the Bicentennial have roof walks. All of my Great Northerns have roof walks. But yeah, so this DH and this St. Mary's both don't have roof walks. They're pretty much the only ones. So most of my cars all seem to be pre-1970s then. I'm looking at some of the other ones on my bench. Even a lot of the ones on my bench all have roof walks on them. Otter Creek Yard says it's a good looking yard there. Heath, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I need a yard tower now. Let's see. Yard tower. Where is it? It might be up there somewhere. So I probably not going to get it tonight. I do have a yard tower. But I don't have it. Man, should have a good night. See you later. Bicentennial was post 1970. But they all have roof walks. Oh, no, sorry. They all don't have roof walks. Yeah, there you go. I do, you know, I do kind of like the idea of making the Cabooses into a hotel. I think that would be kind of fun. Fred Wild calling it a night. So is it, so I didn't put this on there because I hadn't taken a picture of it yet. So this is so this is just called an excess height. So this is not called a high cube. It's a 60-foot excess height double plug door rivet sides. It's the MTL 25th anniversary car. So it's neat seeing all the different cars on the track. Sidetracks 77 says, I bet the car dimensions were determined for the car's intended use. Standard boxcars, auto parts, appliance, freezer, livestock may even be limited to manufacture on the railroad. My understanding is that they make the rail cars as big as they can possibly make them so that they have the potential to hold as much as possible. And I'm saying that a little bit based on a lot of the well cars are like 53-foot well cars, but they'll put 40-foot containers on them, which I find sort of interesting. But yeah, excess height equals high cube. Roy says it does look pretty nice with all the cars loaded up on the track. It sure does. I'm hoping, I don't know, in my fantasy world, like I was hoping I'd be able to have like the Solar Series and the Constellation Series and all the circus stuff and, but boy, when you start putting cars on, it definitely fills up quickly. You know what I want to do? I want to go count how many cars I actually have back there. Just, I mean, a lot of them are like 40-footers or short cabooses, which definitely are going to take up less space than, you know, like the Solar Series will take up. But I am sort of curious how many, I'm sort of curious what I've got back there number-wise. So let's just do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 cars on what we're calling the Roy Eltham rip tracks. So what did I say? 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So there's 63 cars over there. And then on the time saver, I've got another 7 plus the locomotive. So that's 70 cars right now on the entire railroad. I still have obviously the staging yard, but you know, if you're going to do any operations, you can't just have stuff everywhere. So I'm going to have to play that off. I do still have the car float as well, which is on this. If you don't know, the car float's on this, going to be on this guy. So that's another interchange area. Jeff, I love it. Jeff just said, I love that background. If you don't know, if you haven't been following along, that background is this. I bought it's $20 on Amazon, and I got the idea from Jimmy at DIY and Digital, and I cut off the part with the clouds on it. So this is the part with the clouds, and it was on here, and I just cut it off. So this is all just light blue paper that I'll probably throw away. soonish. But that is just bulletin board paper, is all that is. But it looks pretty good. I'm gonna change it out a little bit to get like these little covers that I have over this. I'm gonna switch these covers out to make them a little bit nicer. And then for this part here, I've got some, sorry, you can't even see. For this part here, I've got some foam core that I'm gonna mount them on that make it a little more rigid, a little more, yeah. Heath, get some containers. You can stack them off the rails. Now it'll take half the night to put them all away. As I've said, we're not putting these away. But yeah, sometimes heavier stuff in 3 and 4 bay, Axel Salt and American Rock, blah, blah, blah. They just couldn't fill them up completely. 60-foot regular height was auto parts. Oh, there you go. PKW, late as usual, not a problem. Keep, sell it, human. What am I keeping and what am I selling? Just give it away. Someone could probably, oh, the blue paper. Yeah, probably. Smokestack human. Make the shelf brackets look like smokestacks. That's actually a great idea. Now I got to figure that out. The idea in general that I was thinking is the... without the background flats on them, it doesn't look... without the background flats on them, the paper doesn't look as good. Once I put the background flats on them, the paper really starts to look better. So what I will likely do is put the background color on, but then that's not a bad idea of doing smokestacks there. I don't know that I can put a smokestack at every one though. That might look a little weird, but some sort of industrial stack, like next to a building, I think would be interesting. Put the cotton balls apart a bit, yeah. I don't know if you can see, but this is one of the background flats. They've got little smoke coming out of the top of them, which is really which is a nice little detail. Back of your head is cool looking. Am I scaring everybody away? Tuesdays, we're not going to put things away Tuesday. What we're going to do on Tuesday is I've got a speedometer. This is from DRM. Iron Planet Hobbies sells this stuff, but I happen to get this right from the manufacturer. It's a Taiwan company. They do make DCC decoders and stuff. I had one of the regular speedometers that we showed on another video. This is version 2. This version comes with a remote sensor, and I really wanted the remote sensor because my thought is I'm going to put this on my fascia and I'm going to put this back on the main line so that I can, check speeds of the trains as they come by. So I'm going to take that out on Tuesday, and that's kind of the plan for that. You can cut the paper, and Jeff says use your finger to make the shape of a smokestack and put it on the buildings. Hide with your background buildings. Yeah, so it's kind of a mistake, I guess, and it's kind of just the nature of the shelf layout, but that back main line is too close to those standards to fit anything but paper between the main line and that standard. So whatever does go on that standard is going to be paper thick. That's all it can be. One of the things I thought of putting on it was like a retaining wall type of thing, and just print out, like a brick pattern of a retaining wall and make a sort of column brick retaining wall for it. But yeah, it's, the nature of having a shelf layout and wanting to have such a big yard, it kind of limits what I can unfortunately put, on it. Artie says he's got 2 speeds, stop and go. Yeah, hopefully I have a lot more go than stop. Just turn them into tall, skinny. And that was part of the thought too, is once I figure out what is going to go back there, I will incorporate them into that as well. And yeah, I have, oh, it's over here, just so we're not moving this. That's one of the background flats that I have that's multi-layered, multi-level, got, you know, a couple different sort of levels and stuff to it. And that does fit because it fits at the depth of the standard, but you know, it really can't come out any further. So that might probably go around to the other side a little bit more, where I have more room. The yard that's over on this side, over here, is further away from the backdrop. So I have a lot more space here to put things. And this is, you know, there'll be industries and stuff there. But the other yard is just much too close. And then if you haven't seen it yet, this is where the staging yard is, off in this corner, which is right next to the desk, and that's where everything will live. Is that a cannabis shop? It is. Yes. So this is, again, probably Nick's humor. Nick from PTF Designs, PGA's Train Fanatics. Yes, it's a Reefer Express thing. So it's kind of funny. A lot of these aren't wired up, but a bunch of these have LEDs and stuff on them as well that flash and flicker and different stuff. So once I figure out where they're going to go, we'll do that. Brick paper will make a good looking smokestack or elevator shaft. And I did that way back when on my T-Track module. I had printed out a brick pattern. I was having some problems color matching, so it doesn't look quite as much as I would like it, quite as good as I would like it to look. But I do definitely think that one of the things I'm going to do for that background is you know, paper printed things. What I was just hearing, I think it was Lance Minheim in one of his books. Somebody said this, I didn't read it in the book, so I may be misquoting it a little bit, but they said don't put any track within 6 inches of your background. And as they were talking about that, my thought was that this shelf on the left side here, the left, my right, whatever, it's only 8 inches deep. So if I was going to put the track 6 inches from the backdrop, it would only have 2 inches on the front. So New York City skyscrapers had water towers on top, elevator shaft extensions too. Pigeon coops, they sure did. Jeff says, wow, that's a huge layout. It is, let's see, it is 4, 8, and 8. So that's 16, it's 20 linear feet. The shelf on this side is 8 inches deep. The shelf along the back side here, which is what this is looking at right now, is 12 inches deep. And the shelf that the time saver on is 10 inches deep. So it's 20 feet long total, this being, 10 inches here. And then this is 12. I was almost just going to do this in 8, but I did decide to do it in 12 and changed it all out at one point. I do have, the yard is all wired up now. So all of these switches do now actually work, turn on power to the various tracks. I haven't tested locomotives on everything, but my understanding is that I did everything right. I'm just making that up. I don't know if I did everything right. I hope I did everything right. So I was just happy I tested that there are no shorts, which was I can fix anything else to get it running. So it's 12 inches from in front of the standard. Nothing is deeper than 12 inches. The building flat with the green on it is the Reefer Express one. That's the one with the green on it. Let's see, extend the buildings or skyscrapers. Yeah, and what I've been talking to Nick at PTF Designs about too would be printing some stuff as well. So Thomas, I was almost going to do Tuesday night's session on the ramp meter. I do have a ramp meter coming that I bought from Iron Planet Hobbies. I actually bought it. Mark from M&M Rails had some issues with LEDs last time, and my thought was that it would be good to sort of show how I would test stuff. I have a multimeter. It's a $300 multimeter, but the ramp meter is like $82, so it's a cheaper solution, but it can also test DCC and various things. So I am getting a ramp meter, and it is something that you will see on the channel at some point. Thomas says start switching cars. Yeah, not going to happen. High tension power lines. That's an interesting idea to kind of run them between standards. I'm liking this. Yeah, Reefer Madness. Yeah, he's a jokester, Nick is. The High Plains Railroad says, have a hard time making a decision. 4x8 sheet plywood or shelf layout. I have limited amount of space, but want to have scenery and industries on layout. Have a room that is 12 by 20. I've talked about this before, but I thought I had to have a continuous layout. I thought I needed to be able to run trains in a circle, and that if I wasn't going to be able to run trains in a circle, I thought that I wouldn't be happy. And what I'm really finding out is that I am loving the shelf layout thing. And with a 10 by 20 room, you could absolutely put balloon loops on either side of your shelf layout. And, I would recommend that. I mean, I am now a big fan of shelf layouts. It is what I would recommend now. I don't think, where is the video? I don't know if it's on my channel or it's somebody else's channel, but I saw an interview of a track designer, and they actually showed how by putting a 4x8 sheet of plywood in the center of a 10 by 20 room, you actually lose a lot of space that you could utilize if you did an around the room layout. So I've been looking, if somebody knows of a small, decent smoke unit, I've been looking for one because I kind of want a smoke unit for various reasons, but I haven't been able to make it happen yet. Yeah, so if you want ops, then do a shelf layout. So I can, on my layout, if you, this is for the High Plains, I have a motorman on the layout. It's there's a motorman right here in the corner, and on my main line, on my layout, I can run a train back and forth. It's not continuous in the sense that like one way it's going forward and one way it's going back, right? So it's not a continuous loop, but if you want that continuous running thing, get yourself an ISE motorman and do your shelf track and have it run back and forth. And, you don't need it. If you want the balloon loop to turn around trains, then by all means, do the balloon loop to turn around trains. If I had the space, I would probably have a balloon loop somewhere. I don't have the space. So, it's the way it is right now. Artie says, I'm doing a layout in a room that is 13 by 9, space to do a layout. It will be continuous and point to point. Yep. Yeah, folded dog bone, dog ears type of return. It's called a dog bone layout, is traditionally what it's called. Yeah, so with the motorman, essentially I've got a trolley line. Essentially. I mean, I need to also run my freight on it because I only have a single main line, but I thought about this container, man. What I really want are those little like small ones. I really want a small one. High Plains, if you have a 10-foot by 20-foot room in N scale, you have a huge amount of space for N scale. My room is 8-foot by 9-foot. And I think I've got a decent amount of stuff in here. I mean, could it be bigger? It could always be bigger. It could always be bigger. But, it's, there's a decent amount of railroad here. There's a decent amount of railroad. One that fits inside an HO scale steam loader. That would be a great size. That would be a great size if I can. Oh, I see what you're saying. I could buy a broken locomotive that's got a steam unit in it. If I could find a steam unit for an HO scale locomotive. Yep, you got to do what you got to do. Got to work with the space. I mean, you've seen I've got the O scale and the G scale up top. I've made the most of it. Rusty's got a layout in a 14 by 14 room, pretty much around the room. I built it with tables with shelves underneath. And yeah, you can see in this shot here too, you can see, so this is layout height here. There's going to be more layout stuff up on this higher height up here, but it's just going to be back and forth stuff. But then I've got shelves down here on the bottom. The shelves over on this side are what run the time saver. There's the computer for the railroad and all the command station and stuff. These shelves right now are just junk. This is just me I need to clear off shelves, so it's going right there for now. And then the stuff down here on the bottom is rolling stuff, so I can move it out of the way, move it around. The stuff on this side, I don't want to move the camera quick, but let's see. The stuff over here on the bottom, oh, this is such a mess. Don't look in that corner. But all this stuff down here, all these drawers are all on wheels and stuff like that. Man, so I have two corners of the room with a lot of cables in them. The one I just showed and this other one. And I've been putting off cleaning up the cables until I know more what I'm going to do up on this upper shelf. So things have just gotten a little messy. Yeah, 10 by 20 is a great space for N scale. And, post them on Facebook, post them on Reddit, come join my Discord and post them. Or if you can't afford, pay someone to help you with the layout design, because you'll get a lot more in the space. Yeah, Container Man's got some stuff planned out with some modules, which I hope he's going to get to soon. I'm pretty sure in the Walthers catalog there's a small smoke unit available. Mark, if you wouldn't mind emailing that to me, I would really appreciate that. That would be really awesome. If you can send that to Heath, all my trains are still in boxes. I know, James, but you're gonna have a layout soon enough, right? I mean, you're working on it. You've got a situation of moving recently, and you're still working on renovations and stuff. But I know it's gonna get there, so I'm not too worried about it. DeBob's N Scale Man Cave says, my layout is running through 5 rooms in the house. Main loop is 8 inches below the ceiling. Yes, I'm nuts. You're with a good crowd right now, DeBob. I don't know if you've seen all this stuff, but I've got like almost every scale in this little room, and I am not in 5 rooms. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Container Man, oh, you're getting it in October. Yeah, you got to pick that thing up. Thanks everyone for your input. My HO layout is in my man cave, and it has about 175 to 200 feet of actual track down in the shape of a J without the T on top. My dad says, heading out. Big dog has me up very early last 3 nights in a row. Have fun all. Yeah, it happens. Bob Heath is nuts too. Yes, I am. I think we all are a little bit. I mean, that's... If I had 5 rooms that I could put trains in, I would probably have trains in 5 rooms. It is probably very likely that that's what would happen. So I'm trying to think if I've seen a lot of reviews on your channel, Bob. I don't know that I've seen your whole layout on your channel. I'll have to go back and look for a layout review. Heath is telling Porkies we will derail you, but seriously, we help each other out. I'm not... Yeah, Rusty, your whole house is a man cave. The female cats will keep you in line, though. If you've got something in a place where they don't want it, they will definitely show you. Yeah, if I don't know what I would do if I had 5 rooms. I will say my ideal scenario is my basement that I grew up in. I was very lucky. We had a large basement growing up, and I would like that type of situation now. I would like that situation. But Layout Vision is by Byron. Yeah, Byron's great. Byron did an interview on my channel. He was great to talk to. He's a really good guy. So. Yeah, I know, Dennis, right? You have a pretty big one room, though, too. So you have a pretty big one room. DeBob says, I do have a layout drive-through video. It takes over 25 minutes to do a full loop. Almost time for an update. Yeah, it'd be good to do an update. I'd like to see that. Built a garage the first of the year. And I'll probably never see my pickup truck because the next layout will probably be O-scale in it. Yeah, and Roy's saying, yeah, my whole house is a man cave. I would probably have multiple hobbies in multiple different rooms, so they probably wouldn't all have trains in them, but they would definitely all have various hobby things. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Mark from My Lights Track says, I want a building the size of Northlands for my collection. My financial advisor, land manager wife says I can put a 10 by 20 shed in the backyard. 10 by 20, your HO scale, so, you know, 10 by 20 is not massive, but you can get a lot in a 10 by 20 space. I mean, if it's your own shed, you could do 3, 4 decks. I guess my dream layout, if I had all the room to do a layout in, I would probably want to do a mushroom layout where you would walk up and down different levels to get to the different spaces. And the way I would probably do it would be you would go from sort of like Z scale to N scale to HO scale in different areas of the mushroom space. So you wouldn't be able to look from the Z scale across to the HO scale, but as you went around from one side to another side, the scales would sort of change as you walk through this space. So you would kind of have this perspective change as you were walking through. Roy's layout room is 18 by 18-ish with a couple of corners cut out. And he says, that's me, multiple hobbies in different rooms. Yeah, 10 by 20 is a good size room. Yeah, I've been to Northlands a couple times, and it's just tough to... It'd be tough to maintain, especially for a single person. But as Tim's pointing out, there's a lot of like malls that have closed. There's a lot of big warehouse spaces that have closed. If you can get if you can convince them to rent it to you cheap, you might be able to do it. Dennis from Otter Creek in Rio Grande says, I'm living my dream layout. I hope I get it finished before I die or run out of money. Ain't that the truth? So my next steps on my layout at this point, At this point, my goal with the N scale layout is to get my inventory together and to start operating on it. I don't think at this point, I may do some painting of the baseboard just to sort of like blend stuff and do some like, you know, I might do some painting stuff, but I don't think I'm going to add any ballast. I don't think I'm going to add any ground cover. I might do some structure stuff, but for now, I'm just going to get my inventory together and start running some trains and start doing some operations and start updating my spreadsheets and getting that together. I also need to clear off this shelf above so that I can start working on the HO and Z scale back and forth. I want to get that track laid and set up again. Right now, it's not really doing much of anything, and I just got to clean up the mess and get that going. And I need to rewire some stuff. The corners that I told you about that are just a mess, I think I need to work on. So the next couple things you're going to see with the N scale layout are probably things like throttle reviews. You might be able to, you can kind of make out the different throttles in the corner that I got there. So different throttle reviews, different sort of electronic technology type stuff. Going to do some more work on the time saver, get that running a little better, and just having some fun, you know, using the layout. You know, it's kind of newly built, so I'm gonna try and make that happen. Osmerica says, "We'll see you next year when you're done." I know, right? I know, exactly. Dwight Curley says, "I would be done my layout different if I knew what I knew now back then." Yeah, if you've been following along on my channel, you'll know that, you know, I've redone this room so many times to get to this point that I'm at now. And it's been an adventure. It has really been an adventure. Some of it's been online on YouTube, and some of it's just been in my head, but it's been interesting. DeBob's N scale says, "I built an Access database a while ago to start tracking my inventory. Lots of work to take pictures and hand jamming data into it." I started an Excel spreadsheet a while ago, especially with all my circus stuff, because I didn't want to buy duplicates. I wanted to get one of each, and it just became hard to keep track of. And I have not found, my ideal situation is a database that can be on the Windows computer, on the Mac computer, on my iPhone, and interface with JMRI, so that I can have my, you know, my inventory as my, you know, switch lists, and have it on my phone to take with me to shows and stuff like that, so I wouldn't end up with I mean, it's so funny to me, the duplicates that I have. Like, these two pacemaker cars that I have on my desk right now are duplicates. They're both number 174710, and up here, I bet you right here. Let's see. Yeah. Are these them? Yeah, here we go. So, I've got more pacemaker cars, and I bet you, yeah, here. 174710. So I now have 3 of these. Of the same ones. I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's because I'm not keeping track of the inventory. So I need to go through the inventory. There's no reason to keep 3 of them. So, you know, I might as well get rid of them. And, you know, pay it forward. Thomas Splitrock says, "Look how long Heath has been at this shelf layout, working on it every week. Still could be another 100+ hours of enjoyment working on it." 100%. And with all the different scales and stuff that I have, it's like, now that I'm just going to be running the N scale stuff, I can go work on something else as well. Splitrock says, "I blame the media of the 1970s and 80s for only featuring large layouts. They make everyone think bigger is better." I know, it's crazy, right? I mean, even the magazines, though, I mean, The magazines are getting better. I'll admit, they're definitely getting better. But a lot of them still highlight the big layouts. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, just like books. I don't have too many book duplications. Have a room auction? Maybe. A couple people having conversations. Looks like Mark and Tim are going to build a layout in an old Kmart. Dennis, Otter Creek and Rio Grande, greatest hobby in the world, and that's not just a cheesy saying. What I love about this hobby is I love electronics, right? I mean, that is sort of where my passion is for it. But it's good to like get out and do other things as well, but then have the electronic stuff to like go back and like fall back to, right? Like when I get tired of laying track, I can go back and work on the electronics, for example. So it's really good. Ice Dragon's in the house. Welcome, sir. Yeah, I know, right? I love having the O scale and G scale up there just running around the room. If I had more space, would I have a bigger O scale and G scale? If I had more space, I would probably have a garden layout out back of the house. I love my O scale collection of stuff, the O scale circus stuff. It would be fun to run it, but I don't know if I'd do a bigger O scale layout. I'm not sure. Tamer says, are you about done? I need to eat and go to sleep. I'm probably done. I need to clean some stuff up. If you don't know, this desk here, let's actually put this camera up. This desk is where I work during the day, so I need to clear this desk off to be able to work on it. So I will need to spend a little bit of time doing that. Luckily, this is probably going to stay exactly how it is. May slide some of it around to the staging yard, but mostly stay there. So yeah, James is saying keep going, we have time. Other people are saying we need to end. Yeah, absolutely, man. Model railroading is at least 14 hobbies in one. I was on a channel this morning called 52 Miniatures, and it is a guy that does train building and plays games and that kind of stuff. And he was actually talking about model railroad channels and model railroad shops, and how it was interesting from his perspective as well that there's not more overlap between what we as model railroaders do and what like the train builders or any of these other sort of hobbies and stuff go. So it really is kind of neat. Yep, without electronics, no DCC. The Model Railroad Museum here is in some old stores in a strip mall. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so many different, Dennis says, so many different skill sets are required. And the other thing is, if you don't have the skill set, find somebody that does, right? I mean, like, I love the electronics. If anybody ever has any electronics questions, I love it. Let me know. I'll talk electronics forever. I'll help you solve your problems. I need help learning about operations, right? Like, I don't know anything about it. So I do think it's a great hobby to kind of get together with people and, figure it out. Yes, I know that my JRMI can import and export car rosters, but JRMI doesn't have, at least as far as I know, doesn't have like pictures and doesn't have like what couplers are on the cars and, have I changed the wheels? Have I changed the couplers? What brand? Like, maybe it does, but from what my understanding is it doesn't. My bench is clean. You got more room than me. Yeah, I have to put my computer on this. I won't be able to get my computer on here right now. I should as we're talking and as I'm reading things. I could probably at least be restacking all of these cars, and because once I get these restacked, I gotta find a place to put this too. This is for my fast clock. I don't have it on right now, but I've been adding a bunch of things to the fascia. So fast clock's installed. Re-got the panel and the buttons for the switches. Got the alpha meter. Got the motorman there as well. Just before the show, I hung up some throttles just to get them out of the way. Got the switches all in. So it's been good getting that stuff out. But like now I've got this case, which is what the fast clock used to be in, and I gotta figure out what to do with it. I don't want to get rid of it because you never know when you'll need something like that, but I also just don't know where to put it. I have so many. Look at this. Why? Somebody explain to me why. There are different numbers. Oh, that's so good. I thought these were all going to end up being the same numbers. So I have these 3 MDT cars, 17133, 17128, and 22602. This one's Atlas, it looks like. This one's Microtrains. This one is probably Microtrains. It's in a roundhouse box, but I'm pretty sure it's Microtrains. So what I have the fast clock for is, yes, it makes operations interesting, but what I really want to do is DigiKeys has a DR. Roy, help me out. Roy Eltham, help me out. I forget what it's called, but it's a DR 4050, DR something. And it's RGBW LEDs. And what I want to use the fast clock for is to trigger day to night scene transitions. So, no, not the 4024. I think it's the 4050 maybe. I don't remember. But RGBW, and you can set it to do like transitions, right? So I can set it to do sunrises, sunsets. So I want to use the fast clock to do sunrise and sunsets to simulate the passing of time with lighting. So the fast clock, while yes, it's driving the speed, there you go, it's the 4050, the DR 4050. So the fast clock, while it will have the time, what it's actually going to drive is the lighting changes, which I think will be, which would be really cool. I wanted to get into radio-controlled planes, but they kept crashing. James has a new logo for his channel. We'll have to go check that out. Thomas says, I think there's an overlap with military modelers in painting, gaming, and weathering, then scenery with D&D, Warhammer, and 40K. There's definitely some overlap, and YouTube, I think, doesn't really share. YouTube doesn't share very well with the various different things, right? Like I rarely would get recommended a wargaming channel, but you know, I think it would be good. I think it would be good to do that. Here's the link if people want to see it. The DR 4050. Nope, here's better link. There you go. Right to the Iron Planet Hobbies link. 10% off. Use Humid. So, Debob's making my helicopter crashes as often as my computer has lately. Oh man, Debob, don't remind me about my computer issues. Man, finally, I think the computer's running at an okay thing, but I'm still nervous about my computer just crashing. See here, 2 ventilated refrigerator cars. This one looks like it's weathered though, and this one isn't, but they're both number 8050. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. There you go, a little fiddler on the roof. Rusty says, sounds good. That friend with the N-scale Empire is point to point and uses a FATS clock to keep things on schedule and keeps people from running ahead. Yeah. Container Man wants to do RC ships to coincide with his port layout. There you go. There's a real intermodal yard. If you could have RC ships and have your trains load them right onto the RC ships. Otter Creek says, I watch a lot of armor modelers and any channel that does scenery. Lots of great techniques out there to learn. I could not agree more. They do things a little differently. Actually, on this channel earlier, the guy was putting together some MDF buildings. And he was just holding things together with his hands. And I threw the suggestion out there like, hey, use painter's tape. And it was like, oh yeah, like that's it's a good suggestion to use painter's tape. But sometimes you don't necessarily think about that. I'm wondering too how much of the water pump was the issue. But I also had the issue recently where I plugged in that USB cable and I was having problems with that USB cable. So I'm not 100% sure how much, of the problems I was having was related also to just a bad HDMI, or not HDMI cable, USB cable. So we're just pushing some things out of the way, getting a little bit more organization on the bench. So, this is kind of blocking my monitors in front of me here. So I'll probably need to go through and adjust this a little bit more to be able to work tomorrow. I guess what I'm trying to figure out now though too is like, how do I store all these empty boxes so that when I do decide to switch the trains, if I do decide to put them away, I don't know. I need to figure out my inventory. I do think that is high on the list of things to figure out. Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, yeah, we don't even want to talk about drones crashing. That's a whole nother thing. RailServe John used to be very deep into the RC airplane and helicopter world. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that RC helicopters were very difficult to fly because you have the same controls as a real helicopter, but you can't feel the movement. And my understanding with a helicopter is a lot of it is just the feeling of it. So I have seen an RC HO rail ferry actually run on water, complete with rolling stock. All right, Rusty, you got to find that video and show it to us. Rusty, if you want to get into it, I highly recommend getting the simulator with controller. Will save you a lot of money. That is, I am sure, so true. DB Check, I sure wish I didn't need to fly sideways so often with my drone. Oh, no sensors. Yeah, 10 acres of land would be good. That's true. No, this isn't all. It's just been 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is nothing for me. I mean, we did a 4-hour video of me trying to, me dealing with some of those ESP32 cameras, right? So, there's a drone in the water at the beach by my house. Don't ask me how I know. Wow, 6-foot rotor diameter. Wow. That's crazy. Larry K says, visually one step ahead of stall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, correct. I know helicopters are difficult, but like, I feel like if you're in the helicopter, you could feel when it's moving, whereas you can't feel an RC helicopter when it's starting to move, so. Rusty, I love kites, right? I do actually still have a kite. I don't think I've flown it in a long time. That's RailServe John says more stressful flying the RC stuff. So John, how many more times are we going to need to have this conversation? Everyone knows you as RailServe John. I understand what the 2618 means. I get it. I know it was your firefighter number. We gotta get the RailServe John on YouTube though. We gotta get him out here. The old helicopters had 27 clutches that each had to. Oh yeah. The beach. Oh yeah, Rusty. If you're on a beach, beaches are a good place to fly kites. We have just too many trees around here. I know, right? Funny thing to say. Too many trees in New York. We have way too many trees. Engine in order to lift off. Oh, engage in order to lift off. Yeah. John says one day. One day is today. Today is the day. I'm just waiting, like, as the chat goes by, that all of a sudden one of the messages is going to come up and it's going to say, RailServe John. If you Google search RailServe John, John comes up. If you Google search John 2618, I don't know if John comes up. I haven't actually done it. But Rail Surf John does come up to John. Artie says, I had a few goes in a helicopter. You could keep it. Plus, I'd hate to have an engine failure. You drop like a brick. Yeah. John says he'll surprise me one day. One day. I'm going to hold my breath until you change. If you don't change it, I'm going to turn blue. I'm going to start looking like my background. So people said to save that blue paper. Is somebody really going to want that blue paper? Like, is that something, like, why would you want that blue paper? Usually you got about 13 to engage, and you out to get more than 2 feet off the ground. Mark from My Likes Tracks, my son got a small Thomas kite for his 5th birthday, and I had the best time flying it and found it very relaxing. The kites I like are those like dragon kites. They're like real lightweight sort of head with just this like really long tail. And I used to just really, like those. Off the Rail says, my YouTube keeps crashing and filling with ads. Back on the PC, devices are not able to feed chats for some reason. Wonder what's going on. Does anyone know what this is? Shinohara 113. I mean, wasn't Shinohara was the a company that made turnouts that Walters bought? Do I still have it? No, I gave it away. I used to have an RC, like a buggy that was fun, an RC10, which was a very common buggy. I loved putting it together. I didn't really care much to operate it, so yeah. It could be used as a backdrop if someone wanted clouds. They could hand paint them. That's true. That's true. If someone wants the paper, I mean, honestly, it's $20. It's $20 on Amazon. I can post the link if somebody wants it. It's probably cheaper. It would be cheaper for me to buy it on Amazon and ship it to you than it would, for me to buy it on Amazon and just put your address in for the shipping address than it would for me to go to UPS, box it up, and ship it. So, Fultz Bailey, I can think of a few things for the paper. A teacher could use it for borders and a modeler could use it for painting clouds. I'll take it. Rick, if you want to come pick it up, you're welcome, but I will not, I'm not going to ship it. I'm not going to ship it. I'm looking at a double crossover. Oh, Shinohara's double crossover. I think Jason the Train Freak's double crossover might be a Shinohara. Might be. What is an RC Panther? You talking about like the animal? A panther? You have an RC hovercraft? That would be interesting. Rick says so. What's funny, Rick, is it's $20 on Amazon, free shipping. The amount you would pay on gas would probably be more, but I'll hold on to it. DeBob says Shinohara 113 is an HO slip switch. I'll hold on to it. I'll put it in storage. There's a couple other things here that are going to need to go into storage and get out of the way that I've been keeping for reasons unknown to me and to everybody else, but we'll figure it out. Now we need an RC hovercraft channel. Walters makes a double crossover code 83. There you go. Shinohara makes good turnouts. Just make sure it's DCC friendly. Some of the older ones aren't. My thoughts on DCC friendly are that it's pretty easy to convert things to DCC friendly. So I don't know that I hold it up against, I don't know that I would necessarily not get it because it's not DCC friendly, but I don't know. Roll it up in newspaper and then send it as newspaper. Do they give you a discount for sending things as newsprint instead of as something else? The 113 is also code 100. Yeah, what double slip are you looking for? Curly, what code double crossover are you looking for? James Galton says, Rail Surf John, I'm changing over to the new Walthers turnouts. I heard people are liking the new Walthers turnouts. A bunch of people have been using them. I'm curious why Walthers hasn't started making any N scale track. I get it. HO scale is still 80% of 80% of the market, but yeah. Oh, it's too big to even show on one thing. Are these, oh, German Panther, the tanks. Gotcha. The tank Panthers. Now I get it. Caboose 121 sent me a picture of the Panther tanks, so now I understand. Get a New York Times. Yeah. Curly says, I'm just looking for a double crossover, and I came across that one. Oh, gotcha. Roll it up there and mail it as a newspaper. Yeah, I don't know if that, I don't think they'll fall for that. I don't think they're, I think they'll figure me out. I don't think I'll be able to get away with that. But yeah, I really just want to, I don't know. I got to find a spot to like put all this stuff. This shelf needs to be empty. And I still don't know if I should, like, should I try and put, I wanted to leave the locomotives here, but now I'm thinking if I put all the empty boxes, if I put these in a blue tub, instead of putting them on the shelf, then I could move all the locomotives in the Z scale up, and then I can have the stuff run in a U shape, but I don't know that I want it to run around two corners. I think that might be asking too much. People probably have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about this shelf. I had the HO scale up here. The HO scale is gonna move down here. I just got to get it done. Just got to make it happen. I went with Pico for N scale because Pico had the most diverse selection available, and I needed some curve turnouts and some double slips and some other stuff to make everything fit the way I wanted it to fit. So that's why I ended up going with the Pico stuff. Heath, I need another box. Another box. Yeah. I don't know what I need. If I could figure out how to like clear some more stuff out down here, I could get more like rolling things in. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh no, run. Human is thinking about doing another layout plan. It's not gonna be a layout, it's just gonna be back and forth. So I mean, it may have a turnout or two to leave other trains out, but you know, I gotta run my clown nose Southern Pacific somewhere. What? If your system blows up, then it's not DCC friendly. It won't blow up. Come on. DeBob says, I have been a hoarder of mom and dad's old stuff along with my old stuff, about to liquidate my life to make room for a Fremo layout. Awesome. I would 100% do Fremont if there was a Fremont club in this area. You can maybe just make it out. This is a T-Track module here. I've got more up there. I thought I was going to have to stick to T-Track until I found the switching world. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the T-Track stuff. I feel like the T-Track stuff is good practice, but it takes up a lot of space. Derek says, Heath, keep the HO on the shelf and use the second shelf for more N scale with a helix in the corner to your right. I'm not going to put a helix. I shouldn't say never, right? But I'm not going to put a helix in here. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I could. Possum Bias says, I wish I went with Pico or maybe Kato Unitrack, would have been less work than Code 55 Flex. All my Pico is Code 55. If you don't know, Pico Code 55 is the same rail height as Code 80. They just bury it further in the roadbed. so it still has all the strength and whatnot of the Code 55, of the Code 80. DeBob's N Scale Man Cave says my helix is 4 foot square. So 4 foot square, just so we're clear, right? So if I put this up, from this edge to that edge is 36 inches. So if I put a 4 foot helix in here, I wouldn't be able to fit in the room. I mean, if you know Speed Mueller, Gert Mueller, his desk is inside his helix. That's what I would need to do. I would need my helix inside. Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't throw them away, Cameron. I would find a good place for them. But yes, Container Man, it is a clown nose Southern Pacific paint scheme. I don't know why people call it the bloody nose. It is the clown nose. There was a nice T-track layout at the NMRA St. Louis, including an N-scale gateway arch. Oh, that's really cool. I just purchased many shelves to fill for under my layout. Yes. Yes. Fill them up. Fill them up. Loco has a good range of curved turnouts for large radius, which I've been using with my Pico track, and the geometry is pretty close to each other. Yet Loco is harder to get in the US. I believe DCC Train is the only person I know of that has Loco stuff. But just from one shelf to the next, and it only has to be 24 inches in diameter. I would do Fremont if there's a club near me too. I have 2 T-track modules for our T-track club here. Part of my disappointment of this T-track module that I have up here, it's my first T-track module. If you go back, I've destroyed there's a passenger platform on the front edge of it. And I have destroyed it so many times. And right now it is just completely destroyed because of the amount of times I've broken it. And I've just gotten to the point where I'm so frustrated with it. I just want to take all the electronics off of it and just be done with that module. Just be done with it. So Code 55 Flex Track. There you go, from Micro Engineering. That's some yeah. Railsurf John says model railroaders, if there's space, we will fill it. That is true. That is true. That's probably only the what are they saying? The second most common saying to if you ask a model railroader their opinion, plan on getting at least 3 or 4 back. So yeah, I mean, this room stresses my girlfriend out. My girlfriend does not like a lot of stuff, and this side over here is even stressing me out. I need to move the paint booth. I thought I wanted the paint booth over here. I just need to commit that when I'm going to use the paint booth, I'm going to set it up on my desk. There's no reason I shouldn't be painting right here, run the hose out the window. I can put it away when I'm not using it. It doesn't need to sit there. The Synology NAS is here too. I kind of want to move it over here to the metal shelving, but I'd have to clear a space on that shelving. So right now it's sitting over there. I just need to clean this corner up. But I'm pretty good at figuring out how to store stuff. I just need to, what I'm not good about is like what Bob was talking about earlier. I'm on the verge of being a hoarder, not a collector. And Helix with a lift up section across the door. Woof. Track elevator system would be more likely than a Helix at this point. Thanks, Artie. Have a great week. Yeah, an elevator would be pretty awesome to have. Good night, PKNW. Hope you had a great time in St. Louis, and we will see you all soon. I need to get a move on the building those modules. Pensacola train shows in November. Yeah, you better get going. Upgrade the girlfriend to DCC, gives you more control options. Yeah. You got no time for that, Heath. Got any room under the bottom shelves? No. My bottom no. I need this ladder in here. The ladder takes up a lot of room. I've got all these drawers over here which work really well, but I've got some stuff that if I move the paint booth, I can add some more shelves over here, and this area over here will be much, much better organized, and that's probably what I need to do. I just need to figure out if I gotta find a spot for the NAS. I'm not sure where to put it. I've thought about putting it like way up top, but we'll see. James, have a great night. Yeah, my room is the elevator shaft. If you still run the trains, you're not a hoarder. It's not the train stuff that I'm necessarily hoarding. It's like the thing like, these are all of the old trucks. So the pre-1996 trucks and couplers. Oh no, these are actually, sorry. These are even worse. These are all of the, I'm going the wrong way. These are all the horn hook couplers. I need to send these to, I think Steve Arnold still uses these, right? But I have this whole thing of them. It's like, what, I need to like, I need to find somebody that wants them and just get rid of them. There's no reason for me to be keeping these. And yet they're sitting right there. I do have a collapsible, the paint booth I have is collapsible. And it is collapsed. It's just taking up shelf space right now. Oh, there you go. Yeah, David, if you want them, let me know. Why would I say those couplers? Steve Arnold, I know, still uses them. Sounds like DB Tech still uses them. So, yeah. The doors over here, the ladder is probably a little too heavy to do that. Now, one option is I don't necessarily need... I can look into getting a smaller ladder. Although I don't know that I'd find anything smaller than that. The ladder might be able to go over here under the staging area. That might be the thing to try, is putting the ladder over here and then freeing up that space over there. But we'll see. Yeah, right. You have a box of them as well. You know, and as we saw tonight, I've got this this one Reading Caboose over here that's still got them. So I've got more to change out. So yeah. Rusty got some more Flex Track. Sounds pretty good. So I'm going to be back on streaming on Tuesday night. Possum says I hoard stuff too. Yeah, I know. I keep wanting to say I'm a collector. I keep trying it. But Tuesday night, we're going to check out this speedometer. I really want to get this set up. I'm hoping I can fit it somewhere along the main line over there and have it just read the trains going by on the main line. So that's the plan for Tuesday night. And I have a lot of projects coming up. There's a lot of stuff coming up. I'm doing most of my projects on my live streams now. So I understand that's not the easiest to go back and watch, but I hope you're enjoying the live streams. And, you know, that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm just, I'm almost speechless how excited I am by this. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. 63 cars, 63, most of them 40 foot. So, and those background flats look good back there. They look really good back there. I'm really happy with how all this stuff is coming together. So, from the city that never sleeps, farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.